there is a pirate legend that tells the tale of Captain Henry Steele, his ill-fated crew, and the treasure chest of Zanzibar. Long lost in the depths of the Caribbean, it's about to be raised from the deep. Inside, secret maps leading to a vast treasure buried a long time ago.
You know, just because the Pirates of the Caribbean movies were good doesn't mean you should create a reality show based around pirates.
Arr, ahoy, me mateys! This be the tale of a failed game show that CBS wanted to work, but didn't.
Good God, that was horrible. Today, we go back to the summer of 2007. Why Not by Catalina was stuck in everyone's heads, John Cena basically had a stranglehold over the WWE, and Pirates of the Caribbean movies were the hot new thing. Pirates were now in all of a sudden. Naturally, this gave the swashbucklers over at CBS and Mark Burnett an idea to create a pirate-themed game show about finding treasure. This, in turn, gave us Pirate Master. Pirate Master was a show centered around the fictional story of Henry Steele and the fabled treasure of Zanzibar. Filmed around the island of Dominica, with contestants staying on a ship, the contestants were made to find 14 keys that Steele supposedly hid on Dominica, with them being opened in a predetermined order. The show is hosted by Australian actor Cameron Daddo, who has some decent acting credits under his belt. Oh yeah, the rules of the show. While complicated, and let's face it, extremely fucking confusing at first, are some of the coolest rules in any reality show, taking inspiration from both Survivor and Big Brother. There are two crews on the show, Red Crew and Black Crew. Each week they are divided into the two crews, with the captain and officers leading the Black Crew. The rest draw colored gunshots out of the bag to decide a new crew. If there is an odd number of players, then the Black team ends up taking the odd man out, and then both crews partake in a challenge. Finding gold coins meant you earn more prize money, added on to a guaranteed $500,000. The grand prize could be up to $1 million. However, the prize won was $587,624. More on that later. You win a challenge, and ultimately more money, by finding a buried pirate's chest, and victory is signaled by firing a blunderbuss. The team that wins the challenge then elects the captain and two officers. Basically, the captain gets a ton of luxurious privileges and gets to decide who's up for elimination, kind of like the head of household on Big Brother. In the pre-merge portion of the game, the captain selects two first officers who are also safe from elimination, and they get less comfortable privileges, but enough to make someone happy. Being the captain meant you kept half the bounty from a challenge, and the officers would split 25%. As mentioned previously, the captain and officers are automatically on the Black team. If the Black team won again, the captain remained on, but could choose new officers if they wished. If the Red team won, they appointed the new captain. After the final 8, the officer position was eliminated entirely. At the end of each episode, it ends with Pirate Score, kinda like Tribal Council from Survivor. Right before, every contestant is given a letter. If it contained a black ink blot, they were up for elimination and couldn't vote. The captain and officers, however, couldn't vote either. The remaining crew then cast their votes by impaling their ballots on an upward-facing dagger. Holy shit, that's kind of badass. The swashbuckler with the most votes is then cut adrift. Reality code word voted out. In the event of a tie, much like Big Brother, the captain decides who goes home. However, here's where shit gets very interesting. The first player voted off, John, revealed that if the contestants all voted for it, they could mutiny against the captain. If they all unanimously voted yes, the vote went to the officers. And if both of them agreed, the captain was cut adrift. If one person disagreed, however, then the captain picked any player of their choosing to go home. In the 4th episode, the Royal Pardon was introduced, and it worked similar to Survivor's Hidden Immunity Idol. If a contestant had it, they'd be safe from elimination, and the player with the next most votes would go home. In the 8th episode, a ghost crew is introduced, consisting of the first 8 eliminated from the show. They would compete against the 8 remaining players. If they won, they decided who was up for elimination, got the treasure, and there'd be no captain or officers. However, that ended up failing. The ghost crew would then return to the final 3 to decide the second finalist, kind of like the jury from Survivor. The final 2 then would compete in the final challenge, with them selecting 3 helpers amongst the previously eliminated contestants. The winner of the challenge is crowned the Pirate Master and wins $500,000, plus whatever they won throughout the course of the show. 23-year-old Ben Fagan ended up winning the show and taking home $587,624. He kept the main $500,000 for himself and gave his 3 helpers the other $87,624, leaving them with about $29,000 apiece. Fun fact, Russell Hantz from Survivor initially applied for Pirate Master. Now, to why the show failed. 1. The show was not popular in the slightest. The show was deemed confusing by critics, and many networks across the world agreed. In the UK, the show was moved from its primetime slot on Sky 1 to a slot on Sky 3, which aired shows from Sky 1 on a 12 to 18 month delay. In Australia, the show was moved from its Tuesday nighttime slot to Sunday afternoon. And in the US, the show was canceled mid-season and moved online. Man, that's just cruel. 2. The show is meant to cash in on the craze that was the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. The movies were a smash hit, and everyone wanted a piece of it. But much like American Ninja Warrior and Ultimate Beastmaster, it ultimately ended up flopping into the water. Overall, Pirate Master failed because it was just too damn confusing. However, there is a silver lining to the story. The show won an Emmy for Best Theme Music, so I guess there is some good that came out of this show. Anyways guys, that's going to do it for today's video. This be Duality Dustman mateys, till our paths cross again on the far side of the horizon, fair winds to ye!